Welcome back, everyone, to the 161st Street Show. I am your host, Joseph Esposito, and today we're going to be recapping the Yankees losing 2 out of 3 to the New York Mets on the road. Man, this was a tough one today, huh? This was a tough game, a tough series, just a tough pill to swallow. This series just perfectly encapsulated all of the issues that are currently going on with the Yankees, which is weird because I feel like there's not a ton of holes on this team, but man, like lately the holes have been so just in your face, glaring. We'll quickly go through all the games and then give you some kind of my all encapsulating thoughts about, the series and the team moving forward. So I'll just get right on into it. Game one was fun. Game one was a great time. Cam Schindler again shoved 6 and 2/3 innings, only allowed 1 run on the one Soto solo shot, and he struck out 9 batters. Awesome, awesome, awesome. Cam Schindler is a top 5 pitcher in baseball, and I think at worst you can make the argument he's in the top 10. That's like the lowest you can put him. He is just so elite, and it's so funny too because I saw Mets fans after the game saying he was doing steroids or cheating or something to that effect. It was just very funny. Like he's so frustrating to watch probably as an opposing team because you just see him throw, essentially 3 variations of fastball and mix in a few off speed pitches, and he's unhittable. He's untouchable. People just cannot seem to do it, and people also just fail to understand. You throw four seamer, a sinker, and a cutter. It's very deceptive to a hitter. It's not easy to pick up, especially when they're coming in so fast. I digress. Cam Schiller's awesome. Also in this game, Ben Rice and Jazz both had 3-hit games. Spencer Jones collected his first multi-hit game of his career. Bednar looked shaky, came in, I believe it was a 4-run game, and he ended up closing out the game, but again, did not look pretty, and it was kind of a sign of things to come later in the series, unfortunately, and I'll get there. Game two, not fun. Rodon, he's again same thing as the Milwaukee game he pitched in. Stuff looked good. Seemed to kind of peter out at the end in terms of his. It seems like he loses his command as he gets to like that 50, 60 pitch mark because that's exactly what happened to Milwaukee. Overall, only makes it through 3 and 2/3 innings. He allowed 2 earned runs, but 3 overall. He struck out 6, walked 3. The Yankees did have a chance in this game. Don't get me wrong. It was kind of a ho-hum game. They were down 5-2. It was kind of like, this game's probably over. But in the 7th inning, they caught a huge break. After an Aaron Judge double, Carson Bench dropped a routine fly ball off the bat of Cody Bellinger, and the Yankees were able to end up loading the bases with nobody out. The Mets brought in Luke Weaver to face Rosario, Grisham, and Volpe. Rosario worked a decent at bat, but he ended up striking out. Obviously, not a good result. Grisham, he struck out. I don't know what on God's green earth his plan was in that bat. First pitch fastball, he challenged it. It was at the bottom of the strike zone. Fine, I could see, not be wanting to be, that's not your pitch. I understand that. Next pitch, 1 count, got to be at least semi-aggressive. Fastball right down the middle, doesn't swing. Then next pitch, change up, blow it away, whiffs through it, at bat over, strikeout. And then Volpe hits a ground out to short, and then rally gone. Ends up being, 5-3. Mets tack on a 6th run, so they ended up winning the game 6-3. Real quick on Grisham, I looked at Fairgraphs the other day. He is a 51.4% in zone swing rate. That is the lowest of his career by, I believe, about 3%. I think it was like 54 something was his other lowest. He's got to start getting more aggressive in zone. I understand like has obviously an elite eye, great chase rate, great walk rate. All those things are awesome, especially from a leadoff hitter. But he could do more damage. He has to be more aggressive in zone. 51.4% is just not acceptable. I'm sorry. I understand, you want to be swing at your pitch, and I totally understand that, but he needs to get more aggressive. He has to. So that was game 2, and then we head into the rubber match today in game 3. Elmer Rodriguez pitched in this game. He had the best outing of his career so far. He went 4 1/3 inning, gave up 1 run. His stuff looked a lot better. He was able to clean up the command issues that kind of burdened him through his previous 2 outings. Luckily, this time he didn't verse the Texas Rangers because somehow it lined up that he versed the Texas Rangers in both his other starts. So definitely looked more like the Elmer that we kind of expected. Only got 1 strikeout. I don't think he's going to end up being a big strikeout guy in the majors. I think he'll be, just a good, bat the ball, ground ball, all that kind of stuff kind of pitcher. But I still think he has a little potential, but it's good to see he's going to get 1 more start in his next turn in the rotation. And then Garrett Cole will most likely coming back, which we'll touch on later in the video. Rice homered today. This time off Freddie Peralta. He looks so good at the plate. He's currently MLB in OPS at 1.078. I mean, just the ability. It was a low away changeup from Freddie Peralta. Just the ability to stay on the ball and just hit it with that much authority to right center field. I mean, he is a special, special hitter. It's cannot believe the Yankees got lucky enough to lose Juan Soto and end up getting a hitter that looks at least, I mean, hey, from a profile standpoint, very similar to Juan Soto. So Ben Rice looked awesome so far. Again, don't want to get too out of myself. Many proclamations. I need to see it through at least like one or two seasons before I start talking outlandish. But Ben Rice looked amazing so far. Happy to see it. Bellinger had a good day. He got on base 4 times. 3 of them were walks up Peralta. It's weird. Peralta just like didn't pitch to Bellinger. Like just very uncompetitive pitches for the most part to him. It was very odd. I think he got 1 strike from Peralta the whole game. Very weird, but great job at Bellinger. Way to get on base. He been in a slump lately, especially on the road. So good to see that. The biggest shame about this game, which I'll get to in a minute, this should have been the Anthony Volpe game, man. Hats off to him. I mean, it's gonna get lost just because everyone is so pissed off, and again, rightfully so. I mean, he went 2 for 3 today. He had 2 walks, massive 2-run single off of Shamanaya that broke the early tie. He also had a double off Freddie Peralta, which was real hit. I can't speak. Hard hit ball into the gap. In the series alone, he had 7 walks. I'm really happy for him. I hope he can build off this. It'd be really interesting to see if he can keep this up. Like if he has a good series against the Blue Jays. And then, so especially if he's doing some things that, Caballero wasn't doing, like let's say he can pop, a homer or two, and then you encompass that with the walks, and it's like, he looks a lot better. I mean, the defense is still a question mark. You get the sick feeling in your stomach still when he gets hit the ball, because he kind of last year he just broke all the trust that you had in him. So definitely going to take a little bit to earn that back. But from an offensive standpoint, look phenomenal. Now to the part of the video I really did not want to talk about. The Yankees bullpen reared its ugly head again in this game. In total, they allowed 5 runs, 6 if you want to count the Manfred run, the Manfred man, if you want to, as Michael K likes to say. Yarborough allowed 2 runs that are credit to him, but Jake Bird gave up the 2-run pinch hit double to Luis Torrens earlier in the game. But the Yankees were able to open it up to a 6-3 lead, so it looked like, okay, they're going to get out of here with a series win, even though they clearly did not play their best baseball. And it was going to be, good vibes after a series loss to the Orioles, getting swept by the Brewers. David Bednar comes right in the bottom of the 9th inning, surrenders 2 straight hits to Carson Benj and Bo Bichette. He then gets that Juan Soto to ground out into a fielder's choice. Unfortunately, they couldn't turn the double play there, because as you are about to hear, it came back to bite them that they couldn't do it. Nothing on the fielders. If there was no, mess up on their part, but just unfortunate. He then got Mark Vientos to strike out, and you start to exhale. It's like, okay, there's still 2 guys on, but there's 2 out. Tyrone Taylor's coming up. He is, a low 500 OPS coming into this at bat. You feel okay. Like, you feel like worst case scenario, they're getting like a single or maybe a double down the line or something like that. Then Bednar just serves up a curveball right down the middle, and Tyrone Taylor unloads on it. And you see it, and you're like, cooking down the line, you're like, please go foul. Please, this can't be happening. Please go foul. It did not go foul. 3-run home run, tie game. The Yankees were able to get out of that inning. And then I almost wish they didn't get out of the 9th inning. I wish the Mets somehow won it there, because then what happened at the top of the 10th inning was somehow just as infuriating as what David Bednar did. Max Sherman, what were you doing there, buddy? He is trying to bunt. He pulls back on a fastball right down the middle. It's like, if you're trying to bunt, you have to at least attempt to make contact with the ball. Why are you taking a strike right down the middle? Ends up striking out. Horrible at bat. Don't know what he was doing. Then the start of Anthony Volpe's at bat, Ryan McMahon is able to steal third base because Devin Williams is notoriously slow to the plate. So he's able to swipe third on him. So you're okay. They can get a run here. Anthony Volpe then works another good at bat. Ends up walking. Okay, first and third, 1 out. We got something going. Austin Wells is coming up. You go, oh no. Please don't do this, Austin Wells. After a walk, swings at the first pitch, a fastball above the strike zone, gets on top of it, rolls it over the first base, easy double play. My God, what are you doing, Austin Wells? He's so in his head right now. Offensively, he's just been terrible. And then I think it's starting to seep into his pitch calling because his pitch calling has been very questionable in multiple big spots. I remember he threw, I forgot. Oh, it was Brett Hedry against the Orioles when he gave the 3-run homer to Kobe Mayo. Just like, what are you calling? Throws calls for a slider. Like, look, I don't know. I don't know. Austin Wells is just, I have it up to here with him. He's killing me. He's driving me out and I'm one of the was consider myself one of the biggest Austin Wells supporters. I had a tweet out about him like a week ago saying like, "Oh, you don't, need this offensive machine at catcher to, to win as a baseball team." It's proven that like the only outlier in these winning baseball teams has been Will Smith, and Will Smith is just a different breed. Go on to the bottom of the 10th. Marcus Simeon's moved over to third base as the Manfred man. Luis Torrens gets hit by a pitch, and then Carson Bench hits a slow roller, and Jazz Chisholm and Max Schumann kind of run into each other, and there's no play at home, and Mets win. I mean, just the most infuriating game that there's been all season. Like, obviously, there's been other games where the Yankees offense has been a dud, and that's, annoying in its own regard. This game was just, it was there. It was their game. And they just shot themselves in the foot as much as possible to ensure that it wasn't. Just a horrible series loss. Cannot happen. Terrible, terrible, terrible. Vibes are very bad right now. And we're about to play a 4-game set against Toronto, who had our number last year. You don't feel good about this team right now, especially going against Toronto, who always seems to play up against the Yankees. It happens all the time. So I'll kind of give my overall thoughts on just everything that's kind of been happening and then just moving forward with the Yankees. Topic number one, as I was just finishing my rant on him, Austin Wells, man. I think you just need to put him on the bench. You just need to put him on the bench for a few games. Or, I mean, if you want to get real extreme, you could send him down to AAA. And I really don't think that would be an egregious decision. He's not hitting. He's a liability at the plate. There's no question about that. You easily can call into question his pitch calling and his just overall ability as a catcher right now, because I think his offensive woes are seeping into his defensive side. I think he's on pace for a 1 WAR. I mean, you could defend him when he's these defensive catchers when they're pacing for 2.5, 3 WAR, and they're just so elite behind the plate that you take the 80, 90 WRC plus whatever it ends up coming out to be. But this is just unacceptable. I think you give JC Escara a legitimate chance to win the starting job. I mean, Boone's got to put his money where his mouth is. I mean, he was just spewing that JC Escara can be this, top 10 to 15 catcher at MLB. He's this great player and all this stuff. Show us, prove to us that you think that. If you are willing to start JC Escara, then I will to start at least believe it in theory. I will at least believe it in theory. I could see where you would come up with that theory. His good defensive ability. He has good exit velos. I could see the vision here, but I want the Yankees to show me they actually believe that before I buy in and start investing in JC Escara. As I mentioned earlier in the video, don't need to say a lot. Cam Schiller's top 5 to 10 pitcher in baseball. He's great. Love him. That's really all I have to say on that. My biggest gripe with this team right now, and shout Ryan Garcia of Empire Sportsman. He's been saying it since, I think, honestly, like December. He's been saying it for quite some time. Ever since the Yankees signed Paul Blackburn to that major league guaranteed deal, he's been, spouting off about it, and rightfully so. I tried to be the contrarian and say I saw the vision with Paul Blackburn. I was wrong. Hand up. No problem admitting when I'm wrong. Paul Blackburn and Ryan Yarbrough, I mean, they both need to go. They need to be gone. Our bullpen is not good as is. And then we have two just like bulk guys just taking up 2 spots where we can easily give that spot to a young guy that can actually be something. Clearly, the bullpen is just not good. I don't think David Bednar is this bad. I don't think Camilo Duvall is this bad. I don't think Brent Hedrick is, the way he's been pitching lately, is reflective of how he's going to be moving forward. You have Cruz, you have Hill, you have some pieces. You have some okay pieces that can be those middle relief options. You need to find a guy that can pitch in a high leverage spot, and you need to start experimenting with your minor leaguers to know going into this deadline how many big bullpen arms do we need. That's really what you should be reflecting on. Paul Blackburn is not going to be in your postseason bullpen, no chance. Ryan Yarbrough is not going to be in your postseason bullpen, no chance. So start experimenting. honestly, I really didn't want to do it this early in the season, but with how catastrophically bad the Yankees bullpen has been, give LeGrand a shot. Give him a shot. You're not going to affect his, development as a starting pitcher by putting him in the bullpen for a few months here in 2026. You're not going to do it. The Yankees have done it. The Yankees have done it multiple times, and it hasn't bit them yet. They did it with Michael King, did it with Will Warren, did it with Clark Schmidt. Now, the only one that was super effective out of those was Michael King. Clark Schmidt was good, I think, for like one little stretch in the bullpen, but other than that, not really. There's no harm. There's no harm. If he's bad, put him back in AAA and let him keep developing as a starting pitcher. No harm, no foul. But he legitimately could be. I mean, honestly, he could end up being your best bullpen option in a few months. That's very realistic and on the table. You look at a guy like Mason Miller that's pumping 104. And he's got that kind of velocity. You never know. Give him a shot. There's a couple other interesting arms too in the Yankee system. And I find it very ironic. The Yankees will not call up Giovanni Cruz, who has struggled lately. So outside of this reasoning, I can understand. They initially said the reason why they do not want to bring him up is because, Giovanni can't really control the run. You say that, but then you bring in Camilo Duvall with the runners on, and they're basically at third base before he's thrown 3 pitches. So again, if you're going to say one thing, I need to see you do it. You can't just say it for one person. It can't apply to the rest. If you want to live with under that, then that's fine, but you have to be consistent. But there's plenty of interesting guys. Giovanni Cruz, as I mentioned, LeGrand Hay. If you wanted to experiment with Elmer out of the bullpen, I really don't think he's a bullpen type of guy. So I honestly probably wouldn't even go down that route. There's a guy too in AA. His name escapes me right now. I think it's like Eric Reselman, something like that. And I've seen highlights of him in AA every night, pumping like 100 miles per hour, and his stuff looks filthy. If you want to give him a shot, give him a shot. I mean, you really should be experimenting with all options right now, because what we have right now is not good enough, and it's clear as day. It was clear in November, it was clear in December, it was clear in January, it was clear in February, it's clear in March. It's clear now. Yankees need better bullpen options, and they better start experimenting now before they continuously keep giving away games. Rant over about the bullpen. Positive way to end the episode. Garrett Cole had his second to last rehab start, where his velocity reached up to 99.6 miles per hour on his fastball. His changeup looked really good. He's added more depth to it by, taking a couple miles per hour off of it. He has one more rehab start according to Boone, and then he will be rejoining the Yankees. So excited to see that. I miss Garrett Cole. Not seeing him pitch for the whole 2025 season stunk. I can't wait to see him back on the mound. It's going to be really interesting that he has the whole new windup and to see how that kind of ends up playing out at the major league level. Very excited to see Cole back. Can't wait for the first Cole bump day. Going to be a great time. But that is all I have for you today, folks. Disappointing series loss. Let's win this series against the Blue Jays. They've been playing kind of poor. They still have really good starting pitching, but we have the opportunity right now to bury them. Let's bury them. Let's stomp on their necks. Until the next one, everyone. Please remember to comment, like, and subscribe to my channel. I'll catch you in the next one. Let's go Yankees.